The biggest difference between a revocable trust and an irrevocable trust is right in the name. One can be revoked anytime, one's irrevocable. The difference between the two from a practical standpoint is why we use them. A revocable trust, sometimes called a living trust, and sometimes called a revocable living trust. It depends on who that person has been talking to. They're pretty interchangeable though. And what this is a will replacement. We use a revocable trust instead of a will. And the reason we do this is because we're trying to avoid the probate process. Probate has a couple things we're always worried about. It can be time consuming, it has a cost for sure, and it's a public thing. For those who are trying to avoid that probate process, this revocable trust comes into play. Very importantly here, this revocable trust, it's revocable. And what that means though is not only is it revocable, it's amendable, it's changeable. It's also kind of like an open thing. So I can take my house and I can put it in here. It's still mine though. So I can take it out anytime I want to. If I take my house or my bank account and I put it in a revocable trust, I have full control over this thing. It's only a trust in name only in some ways because I have full control over what happens, full control over that document. And at death, at that point, this becomes an irrevocable trust. So the box closes at death. This thing is zipped shut, and now it is an irrevocable trust. And now we're stuck doing whatever the trust document says. No longer can it be revoked or amended. You can't take stuff out unless you look at that private family agreement. Private agreements don't need a judge. This is no different. We can just do it. An irrevocable trust is just that. It is irrevocable. The reason we're going to start out with doing a trust that is irrevocable is there's something about an asset that we don't want to own anymore. It could be because I want to avoid some estate taxes and I want to get some stuff out of my estate. It could be because I want to gift the family cabin to my kids. I want to no longer own the cabin, but I don't want them to completely own it yet. I want to have some controls on it. So there's something about an asset that I no longer want. And that's very important because an irrevocable trust is not a transfer, sort of wink, wink. It's technically in a trust. It really is no longer mine if I put it in there, and I have to be comfortable with me permanently losing control of that asset. I can have a trustee who's going to manage it. They can manage it according to a trust document that I've created, and I've created the terms for that. But by giving it away, it is no longer mine, while at the same time no longer theirs quite yet. We're doing something about that management. So that's the biggest difference. Revocable trust is a will replacement. I still own it. I still have full control. Irrevocable trust, I'm giving up ownership so that the trustee can control it under my terms for some other reason where I no longer want to own that asset. Does it make sense to hire an attorney when working with any trust work? And the issue here is the same as always. What is your peace of mind and comfort level with not having an attorney? We've worked with thousands of individuals on these types of plans. If you're working with a revocable trust, the saving grace there is that at least it can be fixed. So if you did it on your own and then later you go and you talk to a lawyer, they're probably going to want to redo it because it probably isn't going to be what they want to see. But at least we know that you can redo it. Irrevocable trusts in particular, irrevocable. Not only irrevocable, you can't change them. So if you create an irrevocable trust and you put something in it, that family cabin or whatever it is, typically the only way to change that is with a court order. So you really want to make sure you're getting that done correctly the first time. Again, that goes back to peace of mind and comfort. Do you feel comfortable doing this on your own? Do you think there'd be something added to your peace of mind by having a professional take care of this for you? That's always a little bit subjective. Obviously, I'm going to be a little biased and say we know what we're doing and we'd like you to work with someone who knows what they're doing when you're doing this planning. That said, there's no legal requirement to hire a lawyer. It's just a very, very good idea. Our firm has been doing revocable and irrevocable trust planning since the start. I would say that most folks who call us are looking for some level of trust planning. It might be a revocable trust. It might be an irrevocable trust. It could be a trust that pops up within a will for young kids. So I would say most of our estate plans have some level of trust planning inherent in them. Some of our attorneys, we've been doing this since the early 2000s. Stone-Edge Law Office has been doing this since 2013, 2014. Our clients hire our firm to represent them in their estate plan for a number of reasons. I think one of them is honestly, we've had a lot of people say really good things about us. I believe we do very, very good work, and I believe people have made that known to their friends and family. So that's always the biggest compliment we can get, is when someone sends a family member of theirs to work with us as well. Financial professionals trust us, so we get a lot of financial advisors and accountants who send their clients our way to talk about their estate plan, their will, their trust, whatever it might be. More importantly, I think when someone comes to us without being a referral, they just research us online, I think from the minute they call us to the minute they get their kind of overview phone call with one of our staff, to the point where they're actually meeting with their attorney and spending some time talking about the things that are very important to them, their family, their loved ones, the things that they've been working for. I believe there's a level of comfort there, and I believe we really know how to talk to people in a way that isn't lawyerly. I think it's a friendly conversation, and we get a lot done in a very efficient way by working with people where they are. Client communication is one of our values as a firm. The policy within the firm is 8 business hours, but we're much faster than that. We usually try to get back to folks within an hour during weekdays, business hours. But more importantly than that, during the process, we are going to map out with the client when they will hear from their attorney. We are going to map out when there'll be a review call, when they're going to get documents. They're going to know what's going to happen at each step of the process. We are a small law firm. We're right on the corner of Minneapolis and Richfield. We're not downtown. And we have found our advantage to be, we can create a process that is very custom to each individual, rather than having to push that client through the large law firm with all of its many departments. We are able to create something that is very much focused on that family. Virtually all trust planning is part of a larger estate plan. So we're doing this because someone wants to make sure things are controlled if something happens to them. To get started on that, folks should give us a call or send us an email over our website, and we're going to get you connected with our client services director. She's absolutely great. She's going to give you some cost options, some ideas of what this entails, give you an idea of the process. If this looks like something that works for you and you'd like to get together with the lawyer to move forward, she will get you connected with that attorney and get a planning meeting set up. This is a very productive meeting. She'll tell you exactly what you need to bring to it, give you the questionnaire to fill out to talk about the important people in your life, who shares your values, who are your loved ones. And during this meeting, you and your lawyer will almost certainly get the whole plan drawn out. They'll have some examples ready for you. You don't have to come in knowing anything at all. It's a very accessible process. And from there, the attorney will tell you when they will be talking to you next. Make sure they get you the drafts and when to expect those, and you'll be on the calendar through the whole process.